Alright. Welcome back to Nick Lenz Comic Corner, Classic Guys and Non-Classes. This is episode number 3148, Doubleshot number 3042. First up, we have two sci-fi trades from our comics. First up we have is Thanos, Return of the Mad Titan by Christopher Cantwell. As soon as I was like, wow, a really good writer of Marvel Comics. Now, of course, this is the second Thanos miniseries coming after the previous volume, which was done by Teeny Howard, which I need to do that sometime in the future. This, of course, is only 4 issues. Yes, believe it or not, it's only 4 issues. It does not contain, and this came out roughly 2 years ago, mind you. It does not contain like an additional one-shot per se. Nope, but just 4 issues. Kurt Chamber, like I said, does the writing here with Luca Prezzari with the artwork, with co-doing it with German Penaria, issues 3 and 4. Also for this miniseries, we go to Fresno, California, which I heard is a place in California. And we see this girl looks like she's trying to, a goth girl trimming her eyebrows. She named Roberta. It's just hi to her co-workers, and she just looks like she's like a janitor, cleaning up some office space. It seems like she's having like a very boring life. And then we cut to frickin' space, where there's a black hole and a mouth opens up, and then we see like a big upscale thing, like for around 3 buildings. And then we see, get this, Sanctuary 2! Thanos' spaceship in some place, presumably Earth, and it starts firing the planet. So it's firing in this town, killing people, but not killing the goth girl named Roberta. And then for some reason, not exactly sure why, the whole city gets picked up by Sanctuary 2, like he's acting like a freaking Brainiac from DC Comics. And then we have Thanos come out in his chair. Now, people have commonly accused Thanos being a Darkseid ripoff. He actually is not. He is a Metro ripoff because of the chair thing. The only similarities he has with the Lord Apocalypse is similar appearance, kind of, except the fact that, oh yeah, they got purple skin. Okay, except that Thanos isn't the ruler of a planet, like Darkseid is. And plus, Titan in the comic version is a planet, is a moon in the solar system, while in the MCU it's an actual planet. So he's here looking for something, and then we see the girl open up the door, where we see Iron Man, Mr. Fantastic, Doctor Strange. By the way, this is Illuminati. There's a brand new line for Illuminati, also including Emma Frost and Blue Marvel. You're like, that is interesting. Now, those of you curious about these outfits here, Blue Marvel's interesting like Emma Frost because prior to this book, Emma Frost had never appeared as part of Illuminati. She never was part of it because Simon put basically the place after Xavier died that was taken up by Beast, and then nothing for a while. Then Xavier came back anyways, but Iron Man wearing this suit here is interesting because he was not wearing the comics at this point in time. Not even Christopher Cantwell. Like, appearance-wise, reminds me similar of the outfit he may have worn in a previous book. Like, this armor, I don't think it's ever appeared in the comics. Let me look up on here because I do not remember this outfit appearing in like any other comic prior to this. And Blue Marvel. One of those rare times that he's not written by Al Ewing. Yes, Iron Man's Alpha here, because I know he wasn't wearing. I think he wore it at some point. Oh, it's a model knee. This is an outfit. Oh, it's a Gary Duggan outfit. Okay, it's stealth armor. Interesting, it shows up here. Yes. Yeah. And they came out with this miniseries during the whole Fall of X stuff. Yes. But here's the thing. After this miniseries wraps up, it pops up just 2 more times in Iron Man for cup appearances. One was in the penultimate issue of the previous Iron Man run, and the other was the opening issue of the current volume of the book. You're like, really? Yeah. This armor was not really used very much in the comics. Yeah. Emma Frost, now I did look it up prior to reading this comic. Emma Frost, her appearance in this book is complete random. I guess Chantwell was told, hey, I like the Illuminati in this book. Fine. Except that, basically he knows who Iron Man is, knows who Mr. Fantastic is, Blue Marvel. We run the Science Podcast. And your name is Emma Frost. Why do I know that? It's a long story. Yes, who this girl is. And then we have Thanos firing on them. Find this place and mention the whole thing of Fallout X. Because this thing came out during the whole Fallout X. It seems kind of weird, the fact that Frost is here. You could say, oh, maybe it was Duggan's idea to throw her in because she kind of was married to Tony Stark at this period of time before they got divorced. So these 4 people have to deal with it, and all of a sudden, then the Hulk shows up. Yes, the frickin' Hulk shows up in his look that was done by Philip K. Johnson. Yep, and fights Thanos at the first time. And then Frost turns to a diamond form, and then for some weird reason, you have Thanos driving a pickup truck after taking off the hood. Well, excuse me, the roof. And taking the golf girl with him. Because apparently this golf girl is Mistress Death. You're like, what? Yes, this woman, Brenda Marshall, is in fact the Lady of Death herself. And you're so baffled by this revelation. And by the way, this happens at the end of issue 2. They reveal she's actually Death. Yeah. They have Frost driving motorcycle, something that hardly ever does. Yeah, here's the weird thing about Frost. The only vehicle I have ever seen her ever being in was actually the Blackbird. And then we have Thanos just chatting for a bit. And then, of course, she's telling her, wake up, Mistress Death. And, of course, trying to ram with a truck. You have Blue Marvel. And, of course, yes, this is her. And then they go to... for some reason, Death basically took his form. Not sure why. And then we go to Necropolis, which is basically the Illuminati's meeting place. Which I am surprised Chantwell remembered the fact this place was their headquarters. Given the fact that, well, these guys haven't really met in this place since, I think the last time they ever were here was probably, I think the last time it was ever seen was, I think, just prior to Secret Wars. Actually, no, it did pop up in Ultimate Invasion. So yeah, actually, wait, it was actually Secret Wars. It did pop up a little bit in Black Panther because it's a Black Panther thing. Yeah, it did pop up in the lengthy run that is Ty Nakota's run for Black Panther. Yeah, appeared in those issues for them. and then appeared in King of Black Panther, and they've been altered in this book. Hasn't appeared since then. The first ever this place ever appeared was Black Panther, Panther's Parade back in 1991. That was the first this thing ever appeared, and Don McGregor and Duran Taylor created this place. And afterward, it popped up in a couple of Fantastic Four. It was very heavily in the first, pretty much almost the first half of the run for New Avengers. Yes. So after this meeting here, my only guess is was included in the Necropolis in here because maybe it was suggested from Hickman because he probably went to Hickman because Hickman was probably one of the last people who actually worked Illuminati. Figured, hey, what was the meeting place when he wrote them? Necropolis. Okay, I'll use that. And then we leave this final issue where you have Death fighting Thanos. And then for some reason we have reference here to Avengers Celestial, so a miniseries came out in the year 2000 for some reason. Yes. And then we have her basically with Hulk. Then we have Tony and Emma basically just holding hands. Find this other stuff here. And then of course Vertigo kind of goes sees her mom again. And then Thanos take her back to where she was. And then she gets trapped in the crystal. Yes, trapped in the crystal for reasons. And I love Hulk's like, give it here, Purple Man. I think not. Instead, I must seek out a way to destroy it, free death and absolute from this weakness that affects her. Or perhaps what? Wait. Farewell, Earthworms. He opens up a portal, disappears, and sets some rocks, and in a miniseries. Okay, this was interesting, but oh yeah, by the way, this book, well, I almost forgot, this book included a story from Thanos' Death Notes, where it looks like we have just Iron Man, looks like he's doing autopsy on the controller, who's alive, and stuff related to. Now you're probably thinking about Thanos' Death Notes, which that was also collected in So the story collected here was the Iron Man story. Yep, that's what they included in here. It's all about Thanos' robot, who for some reason design-wise remind me of the original design for him from the 70s. Yep, really interesting miniseries. Give it roughly a 9 out of 10. Next up we have is from Star Wars, which to date this is probably going to be the last Vader book I cover. Because we have Vader Dark Visions. This is a 5-issue anthology miniseries related to Darth Vader. And basically this is the last one to cover because I've covered all 3 Vader minis, 3 ongoing volumes. This is actually one of 2 miniseries he ever had. Excuse me, 3 if you include Obi-Wan and Anakin. But as Vader, he's only had 2. He had this book plus Target Vader, which introduced Valance. This is not like that book, which was a connected issues. This is a series. This is an anthology book. Like, the stories here are so bizarre. Like, one story, Rare Pilot looks like he's fighting Vader in TIE Fighter and he gets spooked, and somehow gets PTSD, and somehow that caused destruction of her base. There's also a story where basically a maintenance woman somehow is fawning over Vader and wants to see him on helmet. I was like, she's madly in love with him, and then as soon as she sees him without Vader, there's nothing with this woman at all, nothing. And then as soon as the woman sees Vader's real face, she stabs him. He stabs her with a lightsaber, and contacts the officers. Get this garbage out of my quarters. Yes. By the way, this book is by Dennis Hopeless Hullum, with artwork in these 4 issues by Issue 1, Paulo Vaniva, Brian Level, that's Issue 2, David Lopez Javier, that's Issue 3, Stephen Moon, that's Issue 4, and Gerard Bridges, that's Issue 5. The cover is Greg Smallwood. The opening issue is focused on these alien kids who are basically just witnessing a fight between the Empire and their rebellion based on the ground. Also, there's one issue in here where involves this lieutenant like you cannot fail, and then he wants to follow this rebel ship and goes inside the space storm, and of course everybody's telling him, oh, we need to avoid it. He's like, no, we cannot fail. So then he proceeds to have this destroyer go right into this thing's mouth, just tearing up the inside of this damn worm, and also damaging his ship, and to get out of the thing by firing inside of it. Like, oh yeah, they have no power for shields. They're a sitting duck for 5 rebel ships. And then the issue ends with Vader supposedly killing the man off panel while the ship is exploding. Oh, that was actually issue 2, that one. The lady who was obsessed with Vader, that was issue 3. Issue 4 was the TIE fighter who got PTSD from just simply glancing at Vader. Issue 4 is... I'm looking at it, looks like it's possibly during... No, this is still the rebellion. You have Vader's hunting creatures, look like he's looking for something. And he's looking for this one person. He gets spooked by it. Vader gets teeth in his mask. It's a bizarre issue. But I still have the art of this book. Yep. But not really much else to say about this book. But I'm going to give this book roughly I'm going to give it 8 out of 10. This was really bizarre to say the least. Yep. And also with that, I'm pretty much done reviewing all the Vader books. Now, in case you're curious, is there any more Star Wars books aside from the upcoming ones that I have still left to review? Well, yeah, I know there's also The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian adaptation. I think there's also Ahsoka. Aside from those books, let's see, what else is there? Oh yeah, there's also Mace Windu, obviously. So here's what's at the cover. So I've covered so far for the Star Wars line, for ongoing. I've covered the second and third volume for Star Wars, all 3 volumes of Vader, the 2 volumes of Dr. Aphra, Kanan, Poe Dameron. I've covered Han Solo, Chewbacca, Bounty Hunters. I would say technically there's one Vader book. It's called Legacy of Vader. Yeah, but that has not been released in Trivia Pack. All the one-shots, I pretty much covered these ones. Excuse me. What about miniseries? I'm looking up right now to see if there's any left. Well, I've covered War of the Bounty Hunters, Crimson Reign, Hidden Empire, Dark Droids. There's just some stuff High Republic, yes. Let's see, Marvel Comics that's been released. Of all the I've covered all the adaptations except for Rise of Skywalker. That's the one I've not covered yet. For the miniseries that come out, let's see, I've I've reviewed Princess Leia, Lando, Shadow Empire, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan Anakin, Han Solo, Darth Maul. I think this was the first Mace Windu book because I think it was 101. Coming second one soon. Captain Phasma, Thrawn, Double Nothing, Upon Imperial Canon. This book obviously just covered that. I recovered Galaxy's Edge, TIE Fighter, Target Vader. I'm looking to see like what else is left to go. Miniseries. I would say just The Mandalorian 1 and 2. Silence and Oath Family Matters. The 2 Mace Windu books. Ahsoka, Ewoks, and like about 3 others. Yeah. I think that's pretty much it when it comes to miniseries. I've covered like a lot of them personally. Other ones with Vader, they're his. Yeah, this was the last one to cover for him. So, yeah, this is pretty much a particular review. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications. Next up, we'll do one more set of episodes of One Piece, and then maybe afterwards, I might get a chance to start up watching possibly the greatest Alchemist of all time. Okay, next video. Bye.